Purposive communication is described as the use of language to write, speak, and present to different audiences and for various purposes. This course aims to develop the competencies of students in the field of communication.
Welcome to our Purposive Communication class. We are the Group 8 Team Potential. I am honored and happy to have an exciting class with you. Before we start our lesson, may we have a warm-up activity, and I want you to identify the pictures relating to work purposes. You only have 5 seconds to answer. Are you ready? So may we begin with the first one. Very good. The answer is documents. Let's move on to the next one. Correct. You have no idea of our lesson. Moving on to the third one. Excellent. You are right. We are now at the fourth picture. Perfect. You've got the right answer. This will be the last one. Very good. The answer is collaboration. You did a great job. But to formally start our presentation, let me introduce to you our group list. Yours truly, Winnie Jem, Johaira, Hannah, Sheena, Charissa, and Marchfield.
Communication was also used to workplace, and the fact that is a way of how we make interaction to our colleagues. With that, communication to workplace is a transmitting of information between one person or group and another person or group in an organization. So, we are now at chapter 7, and we will be discussing the 3 lessons that was assigned to us. The first lesson is writing document. Lesson 2, participating in meetings. And the last one is the communication strategies.
Writing office documents is made in Microsoft Office application. These documents must be created for explicit functions or goals that both the writer and the reader would readily agree on. So, what are the purpose of documents? Let me summarize it into the 3 categories, and these are the following: to provide information, to persuade the readers, to give instruction.
In writing documents, there are various types of it, which are doc, XLS, PDF, HTML. Let us differentiate the types of documents. Doc or the document format is known as the word processor, wherein you can put and edit text, images, graphs, hyperlink, and etc. XLS, or what we call as the spreadsheet, where you can use tables for illustration of mathematical formulas. This type of documents was mostly used in businesses. They use it to store data with the tabular form. They also use it for presentation, like presenting the data they have computed, and they use spreadsheet for analyzing data.
I know you have document format and spreadsheet even you are not in offices, but you have learned this one during your senior high school, and we know that we use it up to these days. There are more types of documents that is unfamiliar with some people. I believe these are rarely used in writing office documents. These are the PDF and HTML. PDF stands for Portable Document Format. Essentially, this format is used while you need to shop files that cannot be changed or documents that cannot be modified. People may not use this one since it is a protected document and it needed a PDF reader in order to open it. The famous reader used is the Adobe Acrobat. HTML, or what they call as hypertext markup language, is standardized system for tagging text files to achieve font, color, graphic, and hyperlink effects on the World Wide Web pages. We are more focusing the different uses of communication in times of work purposes. But to be honest, they are more within the next lesson, which how we participate in every meetings.
Participating in meetings. Meetings enables you and your employees to communicate and share information, solve problems, improve performance, build teamwork, and move projects forward.
Participating in meetings, it contains cooperative in making decisions. It's either solving issues or a group of people that come together to discuss issues. It also to promote or to improve communication. Let me show you some sample features.
To be able to have a systematic meeting, there are 4 effective ways of participating in meetings. First one is to increase engagement and collaboration. This offers each person to have opportunity to participate and provide input, and in collaboration is to have a teamwork in achieving their goals and future success of their ideas. Second effective ways is to increase accountability. When we say accountability is the willingness to their responsibilities as worker. Participants in meeting has every task to do or contributions to their project.
A shared sense of purpose is also effective ways in meetings. This means that the purpose of the meeting is to ensure that everybody is in the same page or the discussion is moving to the direction of goals. The last effective ways is opportunities for personal growth. A truly effective meetings creates opportunity for each person to develop important skills, refining their leadership skills by practicing effective communication techniques and motivating commitments.
Let us move on to the 6 tips on how to participate properly in meetings.
First is to be prepared. Preparing for the meeting by reading the agenda and brushing up on what's going on. If you are not sure what the meeting's about, ask someone so you can be prepared. Second is pick your battles. If someone makes an error or you disagree with him or her, think before you speak. Even if the person is someone you don't like, others in the room will wonder if you won't have their back in the future. Third one is to contribute. Don't leave a meeting without contributing. Some meetings are primarily giving information. You give your opinions or support to the topic of the meeting.
Fourth is choose your timing. Don't be the first one to comment on a presentation or proposal if you are not an expert. Your questions and comments might be answered by someone else who goes after you, and you might learn that you misinterpret what was said. Wait until you are confident that your input is needed and correct. Don't dominate is fifth on the list, wherein you must not control the meeting after you contributed to the meeting. You have chances to have questions and comments, but don't make interruptions to the discussion. Hold on to your words and contribute later.
And lastly is soften objections. If you have seen problems with ideas or proposals, try to frame your concerns in a positive way. Instead of telling someone that he or she is wrong, point out the problem by asking a question instead. You have to understand the points of others and don't criticize it. If there are effective ways in participating in meetings, then there are also communication strategies in workplace. Queenie Jem and Johaira will share it to you.
Let us now move on to the lesson 3 of this chapter 7, wherein there is a specific communication strategies according to workplace.
When we are using communication, we must know the strategies that we perform, especially in our workplace. So, there are 3 strategies that we are familiar already. These are the verbal strategy, non-verbal strategy, and the visual strategy.
Let's jump to verbal communication strategy. When they say verbal, it was use of words that we share to anyone. It is usually performed with conversation. Like this picture depicted on screen, that is an example. Verbal communication strategy can be broken down into two categories. It can be a written form, like for example, through email, text, or chats. It can also be an oral communication, for example, a face-to-face conversation.
I know we are familiar with the types of verbal communication, but there are types of it which are intrapersonal, interpersonal, small group, and the mass.
Intrapersonal was an opposite to interpersonal because it only involved to self. For example, if you are talking yourself at the mirror. Interpersonal was something a conversation between persons, like how a friend of mine called me.
Small group, wherein there are two or more people having a meeting or when my group mates decide for our video requirement. Lastly is the mass or the public communication is when there are a lot of audiences, like when you do a speech in front of crowded.
Next strategy is a non-verbal communication strategies are usually body movements, body orientation, variation of voice, facial expressions, details of dress, and choice of movement of the object that communicate. These are all communication that do not have direct verbal translation.
The last strategy was used in projecting presentations to your workplace and to draw attentions and also provide documentations. Visuals in workplace are usually seen through signs, web pages, and illustrations. The way they use data visualization is to show the impact of their work, using of shapes and lines just to outline relationships, processes, and flows. Using of symbols and icons to make information more memorable. Using visuals and data to tell stories. That would be all for this chapter. Thank you for listening.